Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all that's done. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on God for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for.
Welcome to Joe Sport Channel. You can follow me on Joe the Fighting J on Instagram. You can follow me on Taker Devil One, hashtag Joe Sports Channel. Ladies and gentlemen, it is July 9th, 2020, and I hope everybody is having a fantastic day. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, the one and only Nadia George. How are you, Nadia?
I'm great. I'm so honored to be here. It's so cool.
It's good to be with you. How you been?
Good. Busy, considering all things that are going on right now, but loving life and happy to still be moving and shaking.
Great. How's quarantine going for you in the coronavirus?
Oh, you know what? Now it's not so bad getting out a bit more. I think in the beginning we were all a little, unsure of what was going to happen, but taking the time really to just get out in nature and, be a little more self-reflective, connecting with family, doing all the things we should be while we've got some downtime.
For sure. We're going to overcome this somehow. We're going to come together as a unit, as a country. And I really believe eventually coronavirus will come down. We just have to have patience. We have to have patience. Patience is the number one factor, especially in this virus. Now let's move on. Introduce yourself, Nadia.
All right. Well, I'm Nadia George. For anyone who doesn't know me, you can follow me on Instagram at Nadia George Official, and the same with Facebook, Nadia G Official on Twitter. I'm just getting on there, so bear with me. Yeah, but I'm an actress out of the GTA. I'm an Indigenous actress from the Mi'kmaq Nation, and I'm also an advocate, ambassador, and therapist. So yeah, lots going on in my life.
Good for you. Good for you. Good for you. Now, therapist, how is that going for you?
We've been busy, as you can probably assume. So I do addictions and mental health therapy and work with people in the community who are getting themselves back on track. I really love the job that I do, being able to empower people and help people get back on the good path. It's always been something that's been really close to my heart, having, that as a part of my childhood life with family members. So, being able to work with people and support people, especially during this time, has really helped me see the bigger picture of coming, like you said, coming together, being united, and standing as one front.
Absolutely. I really enjoy that, actually. And you look like a family girl, so that's very good. I love family. Family comes first. I love people. You got to love people to be in the industry of you.
Absolutely.
And Nadia, now you said you're an actor. What kind of actor? Movie actor, comedy? There can be so many things,
Yeah, so I do a little bit of everything. Mostly the TV film situation has been dramatic. So I do a lot of dramas. I've done quite a few docudramas and 2 short films that had a really strong message. And I'd like to get more into the comedy piece. That would be kind of cool. I've always been, wanting to, I don't know, if Seth Rogen's watching this, throw me in. I make a good tree,
You look good at that. Trust me, you would.
So yeah, so I do a little bit of everything and commercials as well. So right now, with a lot of the work being on hold, we're doing a lot of self-tapes and auditioning from home. Filming has been interesting. you know, we did the Camp Cowabunga virtual camp filming just a couple weekends ago. So that's kind of the closest thing I've done towards kind of comedy is the kids show, which is so cool. I mean, who doesn't want to talk to puppets? We all grew up thinking one day, you know, we would be there, and here I am doing it. So it's pretty awesome.
Good for you, Nadia. Now, I have a question to ask you. You know, there's so many people out there that act in the industry, but so many shows that I watch, they never answer this question. And the Boonie is going to ask you this question.
Okay.
When you're acting, okay, and you have all these pauses, and then you stop for a second, you watch yourself on television. What goes through your mind watching yourself on television yourself? You know?
You know, we really should all take Denzel Washington's advice and not watch ourselves. He never watches himself. That's what he says. Because he wants to be his truest self and not overly critique. And I think it's a great idea. But I do watch myself, maybe because I am, you know, newer in the entertainment industry. And it gives me an opportunity to kind of analyze a little bit of where I can grow and where else I can take my skill set. But watching yourself is horrendous. I don't know for anybody else, but for me, I'm like, what was my chin doing there? Like, what is happening in this scene? Why did I make that face? Oh, I stumbled on that word. So we really, really critique ourselves, and seeing ourselves on the other side of it. I would probably say most of us don't watch for very long, even if we are up there.
Hey, nothing wrong with watching yourself. Hey, I would love to watch myself if I was an actor one day, you know. And acting is one of the best industries to be in, you know, especially comedy too. I really think comedy for you, I think it'd be great. It'd be a great.
I hope so. One day we'll get there.
Now, Nadia, what movies have you played in?
So my most recent films have been Her Water Drum and Along the Water's Edge. I was also briefly in a film called Anemone and did a bit of a voiceover for that. And it was actually, such a great, it was a student film, but just the direction, the cinematography, everything was amazing. But yeah, my most recent would be Her Water Drum and Along the Water's Edge.
Water's Edge, and where's that take place?
So Along the Water's Edge was actually filmed on the Six Nations reservation of Grand River, just outside of the GTA, actually probably about an hour away from Toronto. And yeah, so it was filmed on site. And what's really cool about it is it talks about the water crisis that's happening within the Indigenous communities. So as they were filming it, although I wasn't on set that day, but John, the director and writer, has spoken about how many times they actually had to stop filming one scene just so that way the people who live on that nation's territory had to come and get their water from the system. So it's, you know, not fed to the house and super toxic, the stuff that is going into the house. So that's where that one is set. And it's a really, really powerful short film. I suggest everybody watches it. You can see it on Vimeo. Yeah, I definitely say everybody should check it out.
That, you know what, I'm gonna, after when we're done everything tonight, I'm gonna have my avocados and my 2% glass of milk. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
You just tell me that, guys. Go and follow her and go watch her movies. I can tell you right now, you're gonna be fabulous. You're gonna go very far, and you're gonna succeed in life. And I have your support 110%. Seriously, Nadia, you're truly a terrific woman. You know, you look beautiful. I love the hat. I love the outfit.
Thank you. I have a hat problem. I have like so many hats. I have a serious problem.
It's not. Hey, I have 756 hats. So,
okay, so you know, you beat me. You got me on that one for sure.
Now, I was reading up on you a little bit earlier today, and you're a motivational speaker. Is that true?
Yes. Yeah.
What do you motivate on?
So really, it's more about youth empowerment. Having been a young mom, so I was a mom at the age of 18 and went through some very, serious obstacles, trials and tribulations. And with my son now being 20 himself, it's one of those things that I want our youth to know that there's so much time. You have so much time, oh God, I can't believe I'm going to say this on air. So I turned 38 last November, and I still feel like I'm still finding myself, and I'm still I feel like I still have so much time to accomplish everything that I want to accomplish. So for me, the power of being able to be in a room with young people and talking about self-confidence, self-awareness, self-love, and taking risks, trying new things. The idea of, it's okay to fail. It just means you learned a way that it didn't work. I own a book that's based on Thomas Edison. It's kind of his story. I don't know exactly how accurate it is, but in that point, he does talk about trying to create all of these inventions. And that's actually one of the things he says. He said, I just found out a million ways it didn't work until I found the way that it did. And, Arnold Schwarzenegger says the same thing about, he tried 500 times and then finally, on that 501th time, he reached his goal. But it's really just about not giving up and just trying differently. If it isn't working, just try differently. So, for me, being able to be out there and talking with the kids and with the youth and even people our age, elders who are older, you can do it. You can do it. When I was in university, I had a couple that were classmates of mine. They were married, both, I think they were in their 50s, and they graduated and totally changed their careers. That to me is a massive inspiration. So if they can do it, anyone can do it.
Anybody can do anything. Like they say in football, on any given Sunday, anybody can win. And nothing wrong with failure. That is true. And failure turns into success. Success turns into you're on the top of the mountain. That's what I believe in myself. Yeah. You know what? You see so many people, they have talent out there. Even you look at the people who are homeless, they have amazing voices. They can sing and all that. Talent like that can inspire a person immediately. And we need more people like that in the world. I'm not saying I'm perfect in life or other people perfect in life. I made mistakes in life, but I learned from my mistakes. And when you learn from your mistakes, you turn that mistakes into succeed. And when you succeed in life, believe me, you'll be a lot happier person. Like every day when I wake up in the morning, these are my words. Alhamdulillah, I'm living this good life. I'm breathing on God's time, and I ain't going to waste one breath. And it's true. Fact,
You make such a good point because my teachings that I grew up with was that Creator gives us so many gifts. We're born with all of these gifts, and it's our choice as to whether we use those. And sometimes we're not fully aware of them. They come in time during paths as we, grow and we learn, like you said, through our mistakes and things like that. But we have this amazing ability as humans to have an awareness of our awareness of our awareness. And that is what separates us from other mammals and species on the planet. And so I think the biggest thing is to have role models, to have mentors, to have people who guide you. And that's always been what has directed me. And I try to be as honest as I can about my path, about, anyone can ask me anything about my path or about my childhood. And before I was ashamed, before I felt guilty, before I had all of the things that made me close up and not want to talk about it. But as a motivational speaker and as hopefully a good role model and a good mentor, that I'm able to share my journeys now with others and let them know that you're not alone, and we are here to support you. And there are people that care and love you and want to hear your story and want to support you to walk, so gently down that good path and inspire others as they're walking as well. So
yes, you walk the walk. I have Noelle Jr. in the chat.
Yes.
Hey, I have a question for her. Who would be her actor or actress? Would that be a dream to work with?
Oh, Anthony Hopkins, hands down. And Robin Williams, should he have still been alive. The two of them, everything about what they do, the craft, the way they hold it and hold such a truth to it, I would, be like Wayne's World. I'd be, praising the ground that they walk on. So yeah, if I had my chance, definitely Anthony Hopkins for sure.
A lot of people always judge me on this. I love Nicolas Cage. I'm a fan of Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, he's good too, though. He's good.
He plays him. He's just himself. He's like Randy Orton from WWE World Wrestling. He just plays himself. He's himself, and I like that.
Randy Orton is definitely himself. That is a very true character.
I like it. He's pretty cool. Now, Nadia, I have a really good question to ask you, actually. Who's your role model? Who do you look up to on a daily basis?
Oh, I have so many of them. And what's really interesting is that a lot of my role models, I think, are actually younger than me. Devery Jacobs is one of the people that kind of really inspired me through the acting thing, and she is younger than me. This beautiful Indigenous actor who's really proud of her heritage and speaks out about so many things. And then you have Serene Fox, who is also, I follow both of them. I've reached out to both of them, and have had short, small talks. So I think, like, as we find our role models, it's really about the path you want to be on versus does it have to be somebody older? Because both of those, from my understanding, I could be wrong about Serene, are younger than me. And it's just one of those things that I see their journey, I see where they are, and I want to be able to walk that path as well. Another one of my role models would definitely have to honestly be my mom. She's come from so much, and for her to be where she is right now, she's such a loving, caring person, and I see her resiliency. And for me, that's just something I hope that I can attain.
My mother is my role model too. Mom, I know you're watching right now. You never hear your son say this, but you're my role model. That's why I'm here today. Nadia, we have a question from Andy.
Mm-hmm.
You can see on the chat. I have a question for Nadia. What was her favorite number one actor address?
Oh, so this is actually going to come as a double answer. So when I saw Johnny Depp in Benny and June.
Yeah.
Old movie. I'm totally aging myself right now. But one of the best performances I've seen him give. Very interesting character, and I loved the way he played it, and it kind of like sparked me to like want to be on that big screen. And then second to that was when I was young, I did community theater, and I saw the play of Annie. I don't know who the young girl was because it was a community theater. The role of Annie, and just she was tough, and she was fighting through life, and she wasn't going to be told no. And for me, that really inspired me to also want to get up on that stage and put my hands on my hips and say, no one's going to stop me. So yeah, that's my answer.
You know what? Those are amazing things to share. Those are amazing things to share. And there's one thing I always say: live life itself to have a crush on yourself. Have a crush on yourself before you have a crush on others. And always remember, love yourself before you love others, and respect yourself before you respect others. If you can't respect yourself, how the hell are you going to respect other people in life? And that's 100% true,
That's a really great saying. It's something I say to youth as well, too. Even just when we're talking about, we get into like relationship counseling, stuff like that, is that, you see in all of the movies, and this is something that I always thought was really important. In all of the movies, we see these people saying, oh, he completes me. I want to, this person completes my heart. And it's really important for people to understand that you don't want to find someone who completes you. You want to find someone who complements your journey. You want to try to be as whole of a person as you can be, so that way you can both support each other. And should the relationship break down, that you're still that whole person. You've still got your own identity. So yeah, I think that's a great way to move forward. And
we're going to move forward. And like you said, we're not alone. We're all in this together.
Always together.
Now, Nadia, what is your favorite sport? I really wanted to ask you that question.
Oh, football.
American
Hands
football?
down, football. I'm admittedly a Steelers fan.
Okay. No, there's a guy in the chat, a good supporting man from DC, and he's originally from New York, and he loves the Steelers. And
yeah, you gotta. They gotta stick with them. They work so hard, and I've been a fan of theirs since 1994, I think. I can't remember the exact, maybe it was 95 when they had that massive out with the Dallas Cowboys. And I specifically remember my boyfriend at the time was rooting for the Cowboys. I knew nothing about football back then. And I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to choose the opposite team just to spite you. And I've stuck with them ever since. So
the Pittsburgh Steelers are a fabulous team. Last year, they lost Big Ben early in the season.
Yeah.
I thought Mason Rudolph was going to do something. They were doing well. They got the Duck guy who was undrafted, and they just kind of went down the toilet. But they had a good season. Now Big Ben is back. Are we going to have an NFL season with fans? And are we going to see the Pittsburgh Steelers back at the top where they should be?
I think so. I think that we have a really good shot. I mean, we always do. And just the past few years, I mean, we've really been dealing with a lot of different things on the team, some injuries, things that were happening. So to have Ben back is definitely a bonus. And I really do expect some awesome stuff coming out of that, out of the team for sure.
Pittsburgh's a good team. You guys are great. And I really believe you guys can win that division. You know, I really believe
black and yellow, black and yellow.
Yellow, black and yellow. When I was in Pittsburgh last year, everybody would stand up. It was my second NFL game. I went with my friend from John Nadia from Lubbock, Texas. And everybody said black. We would say yellow, black and yellow. And it went crazy. It just went all around the stadium. In Heinz Field, Nadia, if you haven't been to Heinz Field yet, I'm telling you, you should go. You're missing out on every bit.
I know. Everybody tells me that.
You're missing your Philly steak sandwich. You're missing your chicken. You're just everything in Pittsburgh is beautiful. It's like
that all sounds like the best life right there.
It is. It's
beautiful. I was very honored. Actually, I had a follower of my Instagram create me a Steelers mug with some of like some native like tribal kind of insignias on it, and it's so cool. It got stuck in the dishwasher and a little bit faded, so I gotta get him to make me another one. But when he said that, I was like, yes, now I can have my Sunday morning coffees. It's gonna be all good.
Are we gonna have NFL fans this year?
You know, I mean, we'll always have NFL fans. Whether or not we'll have them in the stadiums is another question. I mean, you know, that's not something I'm an expert by any means on. But with the way it looks like we probably won't be having fans in the stands. And, you know, that's got to be hard for the teams, too, because we know that energy shifts and we can utilize energy to not have people in the fans. We'll see how it affects the games, but I hope that all of the players from every team know we're still standing behind them. We're cheering from our couches, and we're still watching. We're still just as tuned in.
I just can't see the Super Bowl with no fans. I can't.
I know, but we thought the same thing about WrestleMania.
True, but look,
right?
I was to Green Bay on October 4th. I haven't announced this yet, and yesterday my tickets were canceled. I was so down. I got my money back at least, but they said due to the coronavirus, the governor has told everybody to refund their money and all that. It's just, it's a tough time with sports right now too. You know, every time I come on here, especially every Saturday at 10:30, you're a special edition for sure on Thursday. But every time I come on here, I struggle what to say because there's not much to talk about anymore. You know, we talk about drafts here and there, but I mean, baseball's supposed to be coming out, but there's no fans there. It's just going to be a different era of sports, and I don't know if we were ever where it was at the beginning.
It is going to be really interesting, especially for us who live closer to the GTA to have, I heard rumors, I don't know if it's been confirmed yet, to have the NHL teams all coming here, you know, and being kind of secluded in their own little city in the city and trying to play that way. It's definitely going to be interesting for us sports fans who are, you know, we're so used to being able to get out and rally behind our teams, whether, you know, we're outside at the stadium and the big screen, or we're in the seats. So I don't know. I hope that we can always just like come together. If you got, you know, your 10 people or whatever it is, or your social distance backyard barbecues, we got to keep it up. We gotta be there and show our teams that we're standing behind them.
We are standing behind them, and you know what? They are doing everything to make us entertaining, especially WWE. No fans.
Yes.
Performing.
Oh, and just, you know, they're doing so great too, because I watched the Undertaker's documentary. I'm sorry, I'm a huge Undertaker fan. I love everything about that man, his family, everything. And just watching that, you know, at least they're finding ways to still keep people engaged. And with that also, too, was such a true and honest story. He's never done anything like that in the history of his time with WWE. So it was definitely, you know, engaging. And it would be cool to see more of that. You know, Howard Stern had, I think it was Tom Brady was on talking a little bit about him. So I hope that they do kind of navigate that way and allow us fans to maybe humanize a little bit more of what everybody's going through.
For sure. Do you really think it's the end for the Undertaker?
Oh, my heart
match.
says no. My
Match
heart
against
doesn't
Sting.
want it.
It's supposed to happen against Sting. He was never supposed to lose that streak at WrestleMania. You know?
But for him and for his health and for his family, I hope it is. Because I think that he deserves to have that time with his family now while he's still able to. I mean, those, you know, people will always say that the wrestling industry is fake, and I'm sorry for anyone who says that, but it's not. I dare you to get in a ring and take the bumps those guys take.
Thank you.
So, and as an actor, there, like, for more people are starting to do their own stunts, but there's still a lot of stunt people hired. Those people don't have stunt people. Like, they are taking those hits hard. So, you know, I think for that industry and for him, I hope that he does take the break. His body needs it. It's well deserved. I know Vince is probably not happy about it, but everybody's got their journey. And I think that he's put enough into that industry that he deserves to walk away if he wants to.
He deserves to over 12 hip replacements.
Yeah.
He's not even 60 years old yet, 54, 55 years old. Maybe.
Oh, it's crazy. Crazy.
I love Mark. I think he's the best wrestler in the industry. Matches, especially at WrestleMania. My favorite match of all time, Shawn Michaels, special guest referee, Triple H, The Undertaker, No Holds Bar, Hell in a Cell, WrestleMania. I begged my mother to pay for that pay-per-view. My dad promised me to get it. He failed on that promise.
No.
So my mom got it. We paid over $65. There was no WWE Network at the time.
That's true.
And I watched every second of it, every moment, and I can still watch that. That was the best WrestleMania I ever witnessed as my son.
So good. So good.
Shawn Michaels given that kick and the pedigree and still kicked it. You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, all three of them have been champions for years. I mean, and I don't mean champions in the sense of just the belt, but champions of the ring. I mean, they all worked together as a team for so long, you know, and to have that kind of camaraderie is unheard of. And we hardly see that on any other, you know, sports teams. These are years, 30 years that man put into it. So, you know, yeah, like when you get that kind of talent in the ring, you know you're going to have a good match.
Sure. Noelle says, no way. She looks like she's in her early 20s.
Thank you.
I thought you were 21,
so
22. I really thought
no, you know what? I will take it. I will give the credit to my daddy. It's the good, strong, and digi genes. And, you know, my father was a very good looking man. And my mother was a beautiful woman. So I can't take all the credit.
Where are you originally from, Nadia?
So I was born in Guelph, Ontario. And we moved to Aurelia when I was 13 going on 14, and we only stayed there a few years and then moved to Barrie. And Barrie's pretty much what I would consider my hometown, just because of the fact that that's where I spent a lot of my young adulthood 20s, and made some really good solid friends there. But Guelph is always still a part of my life. It's where I spent my childhood, and that will still always be home for me.
Absolutely. I have a question to ask you, Nadia, as well. For the youth out there, what message do you have to send to them due to coronavirus? Because there's a lot of children, a lot of kids that I know that are going through depressions and anxiety, and there's a lot of suicidal these days. There's a lot of suicidal. It's like 12. I think it's about 11, 12%. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope it's less. But what's your message out there as an amazing 38-year-old woman who learned from that?
You know, I always say, and one of my favorite quotes is that your future self is so excited to meet you. If I could tell my younger self anything, really, was just to be like, you're stronger than you think. And I want these kids to know that they are stronger than they know, that it is okay to feel the symptoms of depression. It's okay to be tired. It's okay to feel exhausted. And when you feel alone, please reach out to resources. Google it, go to, well, I guess now you can't go to libraries, but, definitely reach out to any resource you can. The Kids Help Phone line, distress centers, they're all there and they're all waiting there to support you. Because I know what that was like growing up as a kid. I grew up with sometimes feeling like I didn't want to live anymore for various reasons. And it's just one of those things that I'm just so glad I never gave up on myself. And that's the biggest piece, is when we do feel alone and we feel like we have no one else. Knowing, like you said, knowing that you have yourself and you can fight through it. Sometimes we don't always feel like we have the strength to, but if you just reach out to those supports, let go of the shame, let go of the guilt, or heal, work through it. But there's no shame in saying that we need support. We all need it. All of us need something or someone to help us move forward in life. And there's no shame in that. So, so many people, doctors, lawyers, judges, people, sports industry, they all go through this. So this isn't just, a low income thing. This isn't just a thing about, who you are, where you come from. Everybody goes through mental health issues and obstacles. And I think the more that we talk about it, the more that we start sharing those stories and start, creating a safe space for people to not have to feel weak or feel odd for feeling that way, is better. So that's what I would say to the youth: is you're stronger than you know. And believe me, your future self is so excited to meet you. So just keep reaching for your goals.
Absolutely. That is a very emotional and a sweet message. And the kids out there that are feeling down and out, reach out to your loved ones, reach out to the ones, people that you trust, and I know a lot of people that have gone to that path. And I'm going to bring up a story very quickly, because I know we're running on time very quickly.
That's okay. Yeah.
There's this girl I met actually on Omega. It's an app, and we started talking on there. And that night she wanted to commit suicide. She had the rope ready, she had everything ready, and all that. And she just started talking to me that, after, when you're done off the phone, I'm going to go hang myself and all that. And then she said, I just kind of just sat her there, and I started talking through what's wrong and all that. And she was afraid. She was afraid to send the message out there that this is wrong. My parents are doing this. Her father, was abusing her, and all that. And, she was in an abusing family and all that. And I told her, life is very short. Believe me, you're going to succeed. Believe me, you're going to do well in school. And believe me, you're going to have an amazing life. Nadia, Mrs. George, I have never seen anybody have emotionals that night. You know how when people cry, it was like buckets of water, her throwing down to the ground. And I told her, you're going to do well. You're going to succeed. And this girl's in California. This girl that has an amazing boyfriend. She's succeeding every day, and she has a smile. And every day she sends me a message. Hi, how are you? How's your day going? And
that's amazing.
I like sharing those stories. But every time I share it, it just gives me that goosebump, because there's so many people out there that need help, and I can try to help people out there as well myself. And it's amazing that when you have people, around you that love you and trust you, and especially family. If you have no family, then it's pretty tough to live in this life, and especially in today's day.
Yeah. Well, I think that it's also dependent on how we term family. I used to work with youth, and I would tell them that, we are gifted people. And then there's people that we choose to have in our lives. And those people can be family just as much, if not even more, than the ones that you were gifted. And I think that the other thing, too, that's really important for youth is to know that their history doesn't define them. Their current situations don't define them, and that you can rewrite that history. And if we only took the opinions of the people who hurt us, we would break down. But what's really important is that we look at where are those opinions coming from, right? How happy are those people? They might be successful monetarily in regards to finances. They might have a couple houses. And if they're, not happy, then why are we listening to what they have to say about us and how we should carry our lives? You know, and talking about sports, I mean, Conor McGregor said it. A lot of people, you know, him and haw about it, but winners focus on winning and the losers focus on the winners. And if we want to make it a little bit more of a sensitive way to say that, is really just that those who are at you, the haters, the people with all these negative things to say, they're so busy focusing on you that they're not focusing on their own lives, which means that they're not moving forward. So what's really important is to stay focused on your goals, to stay focused on knowing that you're a good person. And as long as you aren't doing anything to harm others, and you're trying your best to just get through life, to keep moving forward and to focus on you. Because there's always going to be people who are going to tell you you're going to fail. There's always going to be people who are going to tell you you're choosing the wrong path. And I just think what's really important is that we look at what, you know, makes us happy. And there's this idea that, you know, we grow up, we have to get married, we have to have kids, we have to go to school, we have to have that white picket fence, and we get our house. And for some of us, it doesn't fit who we are, or it doesn't fit what we want in this moment, right? Some of us are having children later on in life. Some of us choose not to have children at all. But what's really important is not the checklist, but asking yourself, am I happy? And if not, then let's reach out to the people who I know who are happy, who I see as role models or mentors, whether you actually know those people or don't know those people. I have people that reach out to me on Instagram and will just say, you know, I'm having a really hard time. Now, I can't get to every single one of them because I, you know, do get a lot, and I'm also, you know, busy. But the ones that I try to make time for and say, listen, the fact that you even reached out to me shows me that you have the strength and the courage to do this. So you can do this. And I love the fact that you told her you will be successful. You have the ability to do that, because that's really what it is we just need people to have our backs sometimes.
She's in volleyball now. She just won her first tournament the other day. It's amazing. Like the story, there's so many stories out there that I can tell, but like her story, it's amazing. And I hope I can get her on my show sometime. She's about 16 years old and grade 9 or grade 10. And she was just so emotional. Like that night but I was there for her. I got her back like an older brother, you know, and whoever there is feeling down and out, you can reach out to me or you can reach out to Nadia George. We just want
absolutely.
That's all we want to do is help the world. And, you know, that's the least we can do. You know, we just want people to be happy. And those negative people who talk negative about us, believe me, they're actually having a hard time themselves.
Yeah.
You know, us to be in the same boat as them. You know, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. And that's the important thing.
Absolutely. I want to play a quick video. Do you have time for playing this
yes.
one video?
Yeah.
Before you go. If you guys have any questions for Nadia George, you guys can write right now if you guys.
Wait. It's true. You can buy lottery tickets online.
If you want to.
Okay. Let's see if Booney knows how to do this again. Let's see. Sometimes I'm not the greatest at this. Okay. Let's see. Can you hear this, Nadia?
I can.
You can?
Yeah.
Start off in your bed. If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do another task, and another, and another. And by the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that the little things in life matter. If you can't do the little things right, you'll never be able to do the big things right. And if by chance you have a miserable day, you will come home to a bed that is made. That you made. And a made bed gives you encouragement that tomorrow will be better. To pass SEAL training, there are a series of long swims that must be completed. One is the night swim. Before the swim, the instructors joyfully brief the students on all the species of sharks. that inhabit the waters off San Clemente. They assure you, however, that no student has ever been eaten by a shark, at least not that they can remember. But you are also taught that if a shark begins to circle your position, stand your ground. Do not swim away. Do not act afraid. And if the shark, hungry for a midnight snack, darts towards you, then summons up all your strength and punch him in the snout, and he will turn and swim away. There are a lot of sharks in the world. If you hope to complete the swim, you will have to deal with them. So if you want to change the world, don't back down from the sharks. Over a few weeks of difficult training, my SEAL class, which started with 150 men, was down to just 42. There were now 6 boat crews of 7 men each. I was in the boat with the tall guys, but the best boat crew we had was made up of the little guys, the Munchkin crew, we call them. No one was over 5'5". The Munchkin boat crew had 1 American Indian, 1 African American, 1 Polish American, 1 Greek American, 1 Italian American, and 2 tough kids from the Midwest. They out-paddled, outran, and outswam all the other boat crews. The big men in the other boat crews would always make good-natured fun of the tiny little flippers the Munchkins put on their tiny little feet prior to every swim. But somehow these little guys, from every corner of the nation and the world, always had the last laugh, swimming faster than everyone and reaching the shore long before the rest of us. SEAL training was a great equalizer. Nothing mattered but your will to succeed, not your color, not your ethnic background, not your education, not your social status. If you want to change the world, measure a person by the size of their heart, not by the size of their flippers. The 9th week of training is referred to as Hell Week. It is 6 days of no sleep, constant physical and mental harassment, and 1 special day at the Mud Flats. The Mud Flats are an area between San Diego and Tijuana where the water runs off and creates the Tijuana Sloughs, a swampy patch of terrain where the mud will engulf you. It is on Wednesday of Hell Week that you paddle out in the mud flats and spend the next 15 hours trying to survive the freezing cold, the howling wind, and the incessant pressure to quit from the instructors. As the sun began to set that Wednesday evening, my training class, having committed some egregious infraction of the rules, was ordered into the mud. The mud consumed each man until there was nothing visible but our heads. The instructors told us we could leave the mud if only 5 men would quit. Only 5 men, just 5 men, and we could get out of the oppressive cold. Looking around the mud flat, it was apparent that some students were about to give up. It was still over 8 hours till the sun came up. 8 more hours of bone-chilling cold. The chattering teeth and shivering moans of the trainees were so loud, it was hard to hear anything. And then one voice began to echo through the night. One voice raised in song. The song was terribly out of tune, but sung with great enthusiasm. One voice became 2, and 2 became 3, and before long, everyone in the class was singing. The instructors threatened us with more time in the mud if we kept up the singing, but the singing persisted, and somehow the mud seemed a little warmer, and the wind a little tamer, and the dawn not so far away. If I have learned anything in my time traveling the world, it is the power of hope. The power of one person, a Washington, a Lincoln, King, Mandela, and even a young girl from Pakistan, Malala. One person can change the world by giving people hope. So if you want to change the world, start each day with a task completed. Find someone to help you through life. Respect everyone. Know that life is not fair and that you will fail often. But if you take some risks, step up when the times are the toughest, face down the bullies, lift up the downtrodden, and never, ever give up. If you do these things, the next generation and the generations that follow will live in a world far better than the one we have today. And what started here will indeed have changed the world for the better.
What do you have to say for that?
Yeah, I've seen pieces of that video. I haven't seen the whole thing. But I do definitely agree with, I think, the overall statement of sticking it out and fighting it and supporting each other, especially the bed making thing, specifically that, because it does make a big difference. And we know that when our spaces are kept neat and organized, it gives off a relaxing feeling around us. And usually when people are in chaos, we see that in their environments. I was there before, I used to have a very messy bedroom.
I'm here
And
too.
yeah, and now coming home and having it, not always perfectly organized, but more organized, it's like a breath of fresh air. It's like the one space that you can breathe. But as he said, if that's the one task that you accomplish that day, just even knowing that you were able to accomplish that one task is so strengthening. And I say that to a lot of my clients is, just get up, just have that one glass of water, just hydrate yourself, give yourself that one good stretch in the morning. It doesn't matter if you wake up 3 p.m. or 8 a.m., but just start your day off with a couple things so that way you can feel just a little bit of that motivation and like you've accomplished something.
Absolutely. And when you make your bed or do something you accomplish, don't you feel good about yourself? My dad was telling me, he was telling me the other day, when you do something and don't you feel good? You feel really good about yourself. When you go to sleep, waking up, you feel you're in a good mood, having breakfast with your family, going out, cruising, helping your mom, doing the dishes. Little things like that can change the world. And there's a lot of sharks out there like that guy was sitting on that motivation.
Yeah, there's always going to be. And there's always going to be people that want to pull you down. I remember when I first got into acting, I actually had some friends I didn't think would be the ones to unfollow me and kind of make jokes or make laughs at the choice that I made. In the beginning, I was a little bit nervous to introduce myself to new people as they would ask me what I did, to say that I'm an actress. I felt like, I would always have to be like, well, I'm a therapist and I do acting. And, there were some other friends that I had who were really supportive and were like, no, you're an actress. You are an actress. And there's no shame in saying that. It doesn't matter if people haven't seen your films. It doesn't matter if people haven't seen your TV shows. This is your truth. So you can own it, and you can own it with no shame. And that was a really big piece for me that helped me turn it around a little bit and feel strong in it. And then when my, people who I thought were my friends would be like, oh, so how's the acting going? And I'm like, it's actually really good. Thank you for asking. And just standing strong in that and not allowing them to take the bites out of me, as you said about the sharks.
You're doing it for yourself. You're not doing it for others.
Absolutely.
You want to be an actor, you can be an actor. I want to be a broad. I'm doing it for myself. And then I show my friends what kind of talent I have. The talent you have, Nadia, there isn't too many people out there, but the talent you have, you can change a lot of people in the world. And there's just a thing that somebody wrote down. His name's Alex Martinez. It says, when people show their true colors, don't get mad. Paint a beautiful picture of life, and then keep marching forward. And that's absolutely just keep marching forward. I've met a lot of people that I thought were good. They backstabbed me at the end. I'm not going to say their names.
No.
At the end. And you know what? That's okay. That's okay. Because I always wonder people. I didn't lose anything. It put a smile on my face. I kept marching forward. I started painting a beautiful picture of the Toronto Maple Leafs winning the Stanley Cup this year. Something like that, Nadia.
Cool. That's awesome.
It is. We just gotta be happy. We gotta be thankful. We gotta thank God. I don't know, you guys out there, what God you believe in, but you gotta believe in God. And the people who don't believe, that's okay. But I believe in God, and every day I wake up and I'm just thankful that I'm breathing another inch, another air, and just I'm so proud, so thankful. I can't thank my parents enough for raising me the child who I am today. And it's just an honor and speaking with you, Nadia. And you know what? You're my role model too. I look up to you.
Thank you. You're also an inspiration for me. So it's shared for sure.
We've been going back and forth on Instagram for, I don't know how, it's been a while.
Long time, yeah. So this was coming for sure. We knew that.
Instagram, how long have you been on there for? What, 5 years now?
That specific page, we're going on 4 years now, I think. January will be 4 years. Yeah, 2016-ish, I think, late 16.
I was 16. Holy, how time flies by, Nadia.
I know,
How
it's
kind was
crazy.
it? Seriously, that's great, you know. And you know what? You're just gonna keep going forward. You're not taking a step back. And I'm telling you, I know you're 38, but believe me, the time you're 50, everybody's gonna know who Nadia George is, and I'm gonna be the one standing up there.
That's
telling
right. And I will be back on the show. We will have another conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
So, well, thank you so much for having me on. It was honestly such an honor.
Thank you. Thank you for everything you have done on the show, you know, for the last 50 minutes and 15 seconds.
All good.
Learned a lot, you know, and I haven't been learning a lot these days. Been coming down here, looking at the walls, going out for exercise. But it was like I was back in school again because you are an awesome professor. You're an awesome teacher.
Thank
and
you.
you're just keep marching forward, you know.
Thanks.
Do you guys have anything else to say before Nadia George leaves? Look at this one. If you want to read that one, Nadia.
You are your own masterpiece, never completed, but always beautiful. Just keep making it better. Oh, I love that. Thank you. Thank you so much for posting that, for typing that and sending that. What a beautiful, beautiful saying. I love it.
There's so many people on here that are very proud of you. We have another one of this. Nadia George, how was it being on the water drum?
Oh, how is it being on the water drum? Oh man. It was you know, it's when you're in the moment, you're just trying to bring the truth to the characters and to the story. And so you don't really you're not there, like you're there, but you have to set it aside because the actual message of that story about our murdered and missing Indigenous women is such a strong one. It's so deep that if you were to really sit in it for too long, you're going to go down that rabbit hole. But being on that set was so empowering for me. I wanted to make sure that I did that message justice for all the families, for anybody who has been affected by this tragedy, the continued tragedy. As you can see, it just it gets me a little bit angry. But being on the set was amazing. Working with John Elliott, Erica Orfino, the whole entire team, Michael Riley. Yes, John Elliott is the writer and director of that film as well. So I was just blown away. I was blown away to be, you know, just honored to be in that role.
Love you all. Never let anyone take advantage of you because you're talented.
Thank you. Thank you. It's so beautiful.
I want to thank the chat out here, but I want to thank Nadia George once again for coming on the show. It was my high honor, Nadia, for you coming on. You know, I've seen you on CTV News. I've seen you all over, and you finally came on the Booney Show. And the reason I'm wearing pink today, and the reason I got my haircut today and my gel, my glasses looking like $1 million, because of this girl right here. She's making me believe in everything in the world. It was all you, Nadia. You're changing.
You know what? You've come so far. It's so cool to see. You are just so amazing, and I want you to know that you inspire me every day too, to keep just chasing the dream and catching those goals.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. Do you have anything else to say?
I just want to say thank you to everybody for all your questions, for tuning in, and for continuing to support Joe. And also, hopefully you guys will check out some of my films and become strong Indigenous allies or strong Indigenous advocates, and just work with us to make a better world.
Thank you guys very much. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you very soon. God bless you.